You'll get Essen, 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 Essen.
Spending a summer in the Catskills usually meant visiting one of the hundreds of hotels and bungalow communities. Among the hotels, the most famous was Grossingers, and that is the subject of Joel Siegel's special report, Memories of the Catskills. Joel.
Roz, even at 800 acres with 600 rooms, it wasn't the biggest hotel, but Grossingers was the queen of the Catskills. Here's the story. Jenny Grossinger's son tells her, Rocky just called, he's flying, and make sure you have some of the egg rolls he made such a big fuss about last time. What egg rolls? She says, I had dinner with Rocky last night. He didn't say a thing about egg rolls. It took him 5 minutes to figure out. She was talking about Rocky Marciano. He was talking about Nelson Rockefeller. 100,000 people a year went to Grossingers. That's millions of memories of the Catskills.
Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end.
When Selig and Malka Grossinger moved to a Catskills farm in 1914, unlike other Jewish farmers who'd opened their farms to summertime guests and boarders, the Grossingers were by profession restaurateurs. They really wanted you to have seconds, or at least they made you feel that way. But most of the reason was daughter-in-law Jenny, who made everybody feel at home, even in the 40s and the 50s when Grossingers would royally entertain 100,000 guests a year.
She walked through that hotel and greeted every guest, and she knew every guest. Now, you know what it meant to those people that Jenny Grossinger, the internationally famous lady, greeted them and thanked them.
Everybody came to Grossingers, and everybody played Grossingers. Everybody, from Burl to Ball. That's Alan King. Everybody.
I'll never forget my first date up there. To play Grossingers was the thing. They flew me up in a one-motor plane with a guy by the name of Eddie Cantor. Eddie Cantor, we flew up and did a show, and that's when I met Eddie. And he introduced me as his protege. Never met him before, but I became his protege.
Eddie Fisher was another invented Eddie Cantor protege. Because Grossingers had its own airport, their PR man, Milton Blackstone, could fly in columnists and reporters. They owed him. When Fisher opened, they paid him back with the column mentions and feature stories that made him a star. Blackstone wanted Grossingers to create a star, and Eddie Fisher never forgot. He married Debbie Reynolds here, brought Elizabeth Taylor here, plugged the hotel coast to coast on the Colgate Comedy Hour.
You know me. You're old Grossinger pal. That's a fact. Rocky and I trained at the same place. He as a fighter and I as a singer.
In the 80s, Fisher was there when they tore down the Playhouse. Someone asked, who is that? The whispered answer, Carrie Fisher's father. Once upon a time, they had so many comics show up for a ball game they could have done a telethon live from Broadway Sam Field. Novelist Mordecai Rickler called this Disneyland with knishes. Damon Runyon called it Lindy's with trees.
Everything centered around the pool, with diving shows, with diving races, swing races. And it was just like party night every night. Every single night was party night.
This is Liberty, New York. At midnight, when the big show let out, shops were open, the streets were packed with people. No more. Today, stores are boarded up, and so's Grossingers. This is as close as we could get. Angry guards shoot us away. The hotel keepers died. Their grandchildren sold it out of the family. The buyer went bankrupt. A bank holds the deed. Today, the children of the people who came here buy shares in summer homes in the Hamptons. Today, they can fly their children to Disney World in the time it takes you to drive to the Red Apple Rest. Longtime Grossingers guest Yogi Berra said, these days, even nostalgia isn't what it used to be. But Yogi's wrong. These really were great days. As great as we remember, too great to ever forget. Grossingers is gone, but the Catskills are still here, and maybe they haven't changed that much after all. It's kind of like going back to your old high school and you realize it couldn't have been bigger. We must have been younger. This concludes my series, and Selig Grossinger gets the last word, which were his last words. On his deathbed, he grabbed the maître d' by his wrist and said, A.B., make sure everybody eats.
And they did. They did. Some great memories. Thanks, Joel.